Well, I hope you're all excited to learn about how to get a healthy mind. Success is your duty, folks. You have to have that mindset. It has to be ingrained in your mind that it is your duty to succeed. Failure is not an option. You don't fail until you quit. So don't quit. Keep going forward. Success is your duty. Here's what we're going to learn in this course. What is a healthy mind? The 7 keys to a healthy mind. How does your diet affect our minds? Negative and positive energy. We're going to talk about anxiety a little bit. We have a full course on anxiety and stress, though, so we're just going to hit on it a little bit when it has the way it sets in with your mindset. We're going to talk about changing your mindset, and then we're going to talk about the key factors in building a new mindset. Your current action plan. These are the things you should have done or should be doing. You should have made one friend that leads a healthy lifestyle. You should be interacting with that person on a regular basis. All right? You should be practicing traffic light eating at this point. You should have started buying organic foods instead of conventional. You've started to eliminate toxins and toxic foods, and you should have started moving. I'm not talking about moving out of your apartment or your house. I'm talking about moving. Start moving your butt, start moving for exercise. Whatever that level is that's appropriate for you that you've discussed with your doctor. What is a healthy mind? The state of being disease-free, clear-headed, and truly happy. That's what we're shooting for, folks. True happiness, clear-headedness, and being disease-free. That is our goal. The ideal state of mind. The ideal state of mind is to be happy, right? I mean, ultimately, that's what we all really want in life. We just want to be happy, right? And some of us think happiness is eating food that's not good for us. Oh, it tastes so good. I'm going to tell you right now, I was there. I was raised in a house where food was love, but I am way happier now than I was when I was eating whatever the heck I wanted to. And what's amazing is because I've reset my mindset, I've reset my brain, I've reset my taste buds and everything, I now eat food that I love. I can't imagine eating that stuff. Like to taste a Coca-Cola or to eat, if I eat anything sugary, it repulses me, right? If I eat anything too sugary, if fried foods just repulse me. So the great thing is if you change your mindset, if you see this thing through, the things that used to cause you disease, you'll be repulsed by them. And you'll want to eat the kale salad. You'll want to eat the loaded with good greens, and you're going to want to eat the sweet potatoes and all the good healthy foods. You're going to eat the pasture raised meat instead of the corn fed stuff. All right, being calm and at peace. You want to be calm and at peace. All right, I know I'm an energetic guy, but I'm at peace inside. I'm calm. I have the life I want, but I also have goals, and I keep striving for those goals. So you should never be content. Contentment is not a state of a healthy mind. You can be content in certain things in your life. I'm very content that I have a great wife. I'm very content with the way my kids are. But on the flip side, I have goals. They have goals. We all want to get better. So you never want to get lazy. You never want to get sloth. You never want to stop striving for improvement. Energetic. You're more energetic. You're more driven. Okay, you're full of life. You're positive. You're not negative. You're positive. And because of these things, other people go out of their way to be around you. You want to be that person that everybody wants to hang out with, because when people are around you, they feel better. So 7 keys to a healthy mind. Number 1, you have to accept yourself, folks. You have to accept yourself for what you are right now. Okay? You may not want to be what you are right now, but you have to accept what you are and accept that the decisions you've made in your life have put you where you are. Accept where you are right now. That doesn't mean you're stuck there, but accept it. Eat healthy, all right? You got to eat healthy. We're going to go into a little more detail on this. We went into some detail in the lean course about what eating healthy does for your mind. You can replay that course. I actually recommend playing each one of these courses, going through all of them once, go through all of them a second time. Actually, what I recommend doing is doing each one of them twice. I'm sorry, do each one twice and then go through them all again when you've completed them all. That's the way this will really sink in with you. Share them with friends. Get friends to subscribe to this. Get them on the community as well. Surround yourself with positive people. We've talked about this. We've already added a friend. We've already added a friend with a healthy lifestyle. I urge you, now that you did one, go add another one. Go add more. Surround yourself with people that are positive. Do what you love. All right? Do what you love in life. If you're in a job that you don't love and it's dragging you down, try to figure something out. Figure out what you can be doing that you love. Maybe that means going back to school. Maybe that means to just self-educating yourself. Maybe that means putting yourself out there. All right? Do what you love. Express yourself. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Don't be afraid what other people are going to think of you for what you say or do. Be yourself and express yourself. If you're going to be hated for who you are, not for who somebody else wants you to be. Embrace the little things, all right? Don't forget about the little things. Smell the roses. I mean, there's so much in that. Like, I just like to go outside sometimes and just walk around my yard, look at my fruit trees, look at my garden, just stop and pause and watch my kids play. Embrace the little things. Make every experience a learning experience. Failure itself is education. It's just education, folks. If you failed at something, right? If you failed at something in your past, take that education and move on. It'll no longer be a failure. It'll just be education to being successful later on in your life. All right, how do our diets affect our minds? All right, you can be fit without being healthy, but you cannot be healthy without being fit. Jesse Itzler. I love this guy. By the way, you should check out his books. Look him up. He's been on several podcasts. He's so motivational. He's had an amazing life, an amazing career, and just the guy is just loaded with powerful messages. But our brains, what do our brains need? Okay, our brains need nutrition. They need healthy fats. They need micronutrients. They need phytonutrients, and they need live, living foods. Okay? Our neurotransmitters, in order for them to work properly, we have to have this live, living food, the healthy fats, the micronutrients, and phytonutrients. Our myelin in our brains becomes frayed if we don't. So you got this beautiful plate here with some wild salmon that's blackened. You've got greens, avocado. You have some tomatoes, some lemon. My only problem with this plate is I'd like to see more greens on it personally. I'd like a lot more greens than that. Maybe a little less of the salmon and more greens. But you know what? This is a beautiful plate. This is what you want your food to look like. You want it to be vibrant, full of color, and without poisons. If you don't have those poisons, your brain cells are going to work properly. You're going to feel better because you're eating better food. I mean, I think we all have gone out and ate that fried dinner or something and just like felt like crap for a day or two afterwards, right? Just imagine how good you're going to feel if you just stop doing that and you just eat healthy all the time. Our brains get injured from fried foods, all right? They get injured from junk foods, trans fats, pesticides, artificial sweeteners, food coloring, alcohol, tobacco, too much gluten, all right, and too much sugar. I'm going to talk just a little bit about gluten. We've talked about artificial sweeteners. We've talked about pesticides. We should understand at this point how all of those toxins are going to make our brain not work properly, right? Our neurotransmitters are going to misfire. They're not going to fit right into the brain cells. We're going to fray our myelin, which, by the way, our myelin again it's those fibers that surround the brain cell that activate muscle memory, right? So we're going to be sluggish. We're not going to react normally. It's scary because you see some people that are really unhealthy and they're on the road and you see like the reaction time so slow and you're like, wow, but this is why. All right. It's not just because people are overweight and obese. It's because your brain doesn't respond as fast because you have frayed the myelin. So simple things like driving that you've done a million times, you have to start thinking more and more about as you get older because you've been eating poor foods. Okay. Gluten. So gluten is one of those things that everyone should eat if you're going to eat it in limited quantity. It doesn't matter if you're gluten intolerant. Gluten makes holes in your gut. It causes this thing called leaky gut. After it does that, it elevates a protein called zonulin, right? Immune cells in the brain get turned on and do not shut off until they die 2 to 3 months later. They release inflammation chemicals and they create inflammation in the brain. All right. So gluten can cause inflammation in your brain. And here's the crazy thing. Those chemicals that get turned on, those brain cells that get turned on with those chemicals, they take 2 to 3 months to die off. Okay. So you could eat a heavy gluten meal or even a light gluten meal, and this is what happens. Now, there's healthier gluten to eat, and we're going to talk more about that in our grains class. But if you want to eat the healthiest gluten possible today, and you just don't want to give up bread, that's fine. I don't recommend everyone give up bread, but stick to sprouted whole wheat. If you stick to sprouted whole wheat like Ezekiel bread, then you'll be in a much better place. Your bread should be in the frozen section. All right, otherwise it's going to go bad quickly. But you want to go with that sprouted bread. Okay. Prolonged standard American diet can lead to several brain and nervous system issues. So the standard American diet, which is full of all those things we saw in the last slide, can lead to brain fog, anxiety, migraine, seizures, tics, OCD, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, ADHD, autism, mental disorders, and multiple sclerosis. I mean, this is a long list, folks. I mean, in some of these, you're looking like, what, OCD? That's a psychological thing, right? Well, think about it. If our brains aren't getting the right nutrition, then aren't we more susceptible to mental disorders? If they're not getting enough fat. As a matter of fact, mental disorders have risen in the United States in conjunction with the low-fat diet. Just like obesity, so have mental disorders. All right, that concludes this chapter. All right, folks, negative and positive energy. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Don't spend your time with negative people. Get them out of your life. What are they doing to help you? What are they doing to advance your cause? What are they doing to push you forward? Okay? Don't have boat anchors in your life. Sources of negative energy. The media. All right? I'm going to tell you right now, you need to cut the cord. If you're listening to national media or even local news every single day, it's depressing, folks. It is just going to, I can't watch it, all right? Every so often I'll flip it on and I just like after 10 minutes, I can't stand it. I'll look at the news every so often, but in general, I have no idea what's going on in the world from a day-to-day basis. And you know what? It doesn't affect me either way. What do I care what the president's doing? Okay, well, it doesn't. 99.9% of the things that are on TV, that are in the media, they don't directly affect you. Okay, spend your time and your effort on things that you can change. All right. Yes, around election time, I do vote. All right. I read the booklet. I educate myself on the issues. All right. That way I'm not being influenced by outside media. All right. Get rid of the media in your life. All right. Go online for your information. Look for information from sources that you trust. Stop the fake news and all of the hoopla around it. All right. Our environments can be huge sources of negative energy. Okay, if you live in a low income area or you live in a neighborhood that there's a lot of negativity in, then that can affect you. Workplaces are a great example of places where negative energy can affect you because of the environment. Like in like your profession, right? I mean, you might be in a profession that's just negative. All right, I had a friend that worked for the same company I did that was in customer support, and his job, he led a whole district, the whole district of the West, from a customer support standpoint on some technical things, and his whole job was dealing with problems. That's all he did every single day was deal with customers that weren't happy, customers that were having issues, and he let it get to him. Now, some people can handle that, and they just bucketize it, and it doesn't bother them. Other people don't. Some people take things personally. And there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe that's not the job for you. Maybe, a doctor's not the job for you because there's a lot of negative stuff there. Maybe a lawyer's not the right thing for whatever it is. Maybe working at the place that you work isn't the right thing for you. Maybe you need to find something more positive to do with your life. Our finances can be a huge area of stress. All right, finances, if we're having trouble making ends meet, if we're having trouble paying our bills, that can be a huge, huge area of stress. Worrying about our retirement, things like that. We need to bucketize those things. Think about them when you need to think about them. Pay your bills, do what you need to do. Put it aside, know what you need to do, know what you need to do to achieve your goals, and go work for those things. Our families can be a huge area of negative stress, and it's a hard one to get rid of, right? I mean, what are you going to do? Get rid of your mom and dad? It's not that easy, right? So if your parents, if your close family members are not being positive, or if they're being negative, call them out. All right, call them out. Hey, I don't need the negativity. I'm trying to be positive about this. I'm making this lifestyle change. I am doing this. You may not be on board. Talk to me in 6 months when you see how successful I am. Then maybe you'll want to do it with me. But until then, don't talk to me about it. Keep it all positive. If you have anything to say, keep it positive. You have to have those conversations with people if you want to keep them in your life, if you want to keep spending time with them. If they can't do that, then spend less time with them. They'll get the idea. Well, you never see me anymore. Well, it's because every time I talk to you, you're negative about everything. So it's just kind of dragging me down. So if you could be more positive, I'd love to spend more time with you. Have those real conversations. Okay. Again, don't be afraid to express yourself. Okay. When we go back a few slides, right? Don't be afraid to express yourself from the last chapter. Your friends, same deal. All right. If you have friends that are dragging you down, they're not your friends. All right. Keep positive people around you. Your upbringing. Oh my God, folks. I'll tell you right now, I struggle with this every day. All right. Because the way we're raised is so ingrained in our brains. Right. I struggle with this. My wife's very entrepreneur. I grew up in this family where it was like, we ate, food was love, and you went to work, you worked hard for a living, and you got, you earned your living with what was given to you from the company. And man, like, my eyes have been opened up in the last handful of years, but a lot of that was because I changed my mindset. I started listening to podcasts. I started reading more books about entrepreneurship, about my thing is real estate investing, right? About real estate investing. I started doing that, and then I started doing it, and I've been very successful at it. Okay, so our upbringing, those things in our head, like those I can't. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I see such and such being successful. Oh, I can't do that. Why can't you do that? Why not? It's because it's in your head. All right? You got to reverse your upbringing. You got to unbrainwash yourself from the media and from the way you were raised, and there's a better way. Signs that you might be negative. Hey, you might be that negative person. All right? So you have to be right or win all the time. Hey, I'm really competitive, okay? But I can be a good loser too, right? I love to see other people win. I don't always have to be the winner, or there doesn't always have to be a winner, okay? I love working in teams. Your emotions are out of control and very extreme, all right? So you've got a lot of highs and lows. You constantly blame others. Guys, this is a big one, right? If you're always blaming other people for your failures, then that's not good, all right? And we're going to talk more about that. You're reactive, and you speak before you think. I've known many of these people. There's no filter, right? They don't even think about things before they say things, and they're constantly insulting and hurting people, all right? You tell the same negative stories over and over again, all right? If this is you just need to stop, all right? You look for answers outside of yourself. You blame everyone but you for your failures. You are too hard on yourself. So, some of us are just too hard on ourselves, right? I've had that problem in the past, and I still can be hard on myself sometimes. Your thoughts are mostly negative. You believe you're unworthy. So low self-esteem, right? So low self-esteem is gonna cause you to be negative, right? You do not follow your why or your true calling. All right. It's hard to not be negative if you're doing something you hate doing. All right. 14 ways that positive people separate themselves from negative energy. All right. I practice every single one of these. All right. And it has been a life changer. All right. I'm breathing deeply because I'm just like, wow, like before I started doing a lot of these things, I was an uptight, stressed out guy. All right. They create happiness from within. So, number one, I was trying to teach my 10-year-old this for the last couple years because he would get so upset at what his brother did or what his sister did or what other people did around him. And he finally understands that no one else can make you unhappy. No matter what anybody else does around you, they cannot make you unhappy. Only you can make you unhappy. Only you can make you happy as well. It's all the way you react to the outside stressors, the outside things that happen to you. It's all the way you look at it, right? So someone can be a complete prick to you, but if you just say, all right, well, you know what? Maybe they had a bad day. They're negative. I don't want to deal with them. I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Practicing positive thinking. Now, we all get negative thoughts sometimes, right? My thing is, I try to stop myself. If something negative is about to come out of my mouth, I try to take a breath and try to change, right? And try to say something positive instead. Try to look at the positive light. They look for reasons to believe in themselves, right? I know so many people in this world that don't believe in themselves. They're waiting for some higher power to save them, okay? You need to believe in yourself. No one's going to save you, folks, all right? No higher power is going to save you unless you save yourself, all right? You've got to believe in yourself. They cut off negative people, all right? If people are going to be negative in your life and they're not going to stop, you got to cut them out. You got to give them less time. They spend time in nature, all right? Nature can be such a huge de-stressor and such a huge way to make you feel positive. I love nothing more than to enjoy just going for a hike in nature. All right. You can just feel the stress melting away. All right. Avoiding impulsive spending. All right. You spend too much money and now all of a sudden you've got a credit card bill to pay and you're not happy and you're negative because you can't go do the next thing you want to do or buy the next thing you want to do. Stop impulsive spending. My recommendation on this is, and this is what I do, is like if I'm going to buy anything on Amazon, I don't care what it is, right? Or if I'm going to buy anything, I put it in my cart and I let it sit there for at least 24 hours. If I come back to it later and I buy it, then that means I really needed it, okay? Lots of times I come back to my cart like 3-4 days later to put something else in that I think about. I'm like, oh, I forgot I have these 5 things in my cart. Oh, well, I don't need these. And I just delete them. And then I didn't spend the money, right? They accept failure and learn from it. They do not quit as a result, right? You can't fail until you quit, folks. They take full responsibility, extreme ownership. There's a great book called Extreme Ownership. I highly recommend it, all right? They learn to control their thoughts. They devote time to relaxation and meditation. I meditate 20 minutes a day in the morning, and then if I'm having a really stressful day, I do another 20 minutes in the afternoon. It may seem like, oh my God, you just spent 40 minutes a day doing nothing. But you know what? That 40 minutes or even that 20 minutes makes me so much more productive. It makes me feel so much better throughout the day. I get an extra double that. Just double the time that I put into it. I get that extra time back out in truly productive work. They're solutions oriented. All right. Don't talk to me about problems. Talk to me about solutions. I tell that to people all the time. Quit coming to me with problems. What's the solution? Right. I try to teach my kids this. Like, if there's a problem, come to me with some suggestions. How do you think we should solve the problem? Be solutions oriented. Don't be afraid to say no, folks. Okay? People that separate themselves from negative energy have to know how to say no. You have to say no to negative people. You have to say no to things that just don't serve you. All right? If it does not move the ball forward in one of your buckets, one of the things that are important to you, just say no. And they don't seek other people's approval. All right? They don't care what other people think. Be yourself. Quit caring what everybody else thinks. You don't have to drive a sexy car because the neighbor has a sexy car. You don't have to have a nicer garage door than the neighbor. Whatever it is, just do what you want, right? I drive a really nice car. It's because I like nice cars, not because I care what people think of me. I like driving a nice, fast car, right? I don't like driving cars that aren't nice. That's my thing, right? That doesn't mean that my buddy should go buy the same car because I have it. He should buy what he wants, right? That doesn't mean that I should look, the new model came out. It's a little bit faster. Let me trade mine in and get, no, I'm happy with my car. I love it, right? Same goes for anything. I'm just using cars as an example. All right, guys, don't be a victim, all right? I'll tell you what, there's nothing more of a turnoff to a positive person than victims, all right? And I was a victim for a good chunk of my life, so I get it. I look back at that, me, and I'm like, and a lot of you probably are victims right now. You probably have a victim mentality. How am I ever going to get in shape? How am I ever going to, I'm just going to die this way. People just start accepting it. They start accepting that their lifestyle is going to be this way. Don't accept it. Don't be a victim. In general, we are either sheep, shepherd, or wolf, folks. All right? What are you going to be? All right? Sheep are taken advantage of all the time, right? They don't do anything for themselves. Shepherds, they take care of their own stuff. They take care of the sheep. Wolves just prey on everybody, right? So what do you want to be? All right? Do you want to be the sheep, shepherd, or the wolf? I'll be honest with you. I'm mostly shepherd. I got a little wolf in me too. Not that I take advantage of people, but I'm aggressive sometimes, right? If there's something I know I need, I can have some wolf in me, right? But you want to be mostly on the shepherd side. You don't want to be on the sheep side, all right? You may not always be one or the other all the time. Can I say that? Yeah, I have days times where I'm just like, man, it was a rough day. You start to fall in that victim mindset, but you got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of that, all right? Victims rely on others to take care of things for them. They blame others for their failure. They do not take charge of their own destiny. They just accept whatever happens to them, or better yet, they don't really accept it. They complain and whine about everything that happens to them, and they don't do anything to fix it. Non-victims, all right, these are the shepherds and the wolves. They take charge of their own destiny. They take ownership of their failures and their successes, all right? You need to take ownership of your own life, folks. Don't be a victim. Stop thinking small. Scarcity mindset here, folks. Time is the only resource that we can ever get back. That should be your most protected resource, is your time. Food. Its purpose is to provide nutrition. Stop being dependent on the food addiction that you probably have. You need to change the food you're eating to get away from that. You need to change your mindset for food. Okay? Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. It's that simple. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, folks. Money. You can make more of it. I'm not saying go get in debt, but don't treat money. Don't get in bad debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt, folks. Good debt is debt that you get because you're buying an asset that's going to make you money. There's cash flow on it. You're making more money than what your debt payment is. Okay, bad debt is anything that doesn't bring you money, right? I have a mortgage on my house. That's bad debt. Some people are like, whoa, hold on. That's good debt. My house is an asset. No, your house is not an asset, folks. Your house is an expense, all right? Assets. Now, I have rental properties. Those are assets. I have mortgages on those. That's good debt. That debt pays me money, right? You already know how to make money if you have a job, all right? You need to learn how to make more money, maybe. Maybe get a side hustle. Maybe get more education so you can go do something else that you've always wanted to do. All right? Learn how to make more money, learn how to invest it, and then learn how to make it multiply, folks. Money is not scarce. There's no shortage of money. They just print more. Money's an idea. That's all it is. It's an idea. And by all means, I'm not rich. Okay? I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy because I have an amazing life and I am surrounded by amazing people. And I do have good positive sources of income, but I've had to work for all of them. And I have to continue to work for them. Anxiety. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness, practice living in the present moment. Mindfulness is living in the present moment, being here, where you're at right now. I know right now you're watching this course and you're like, oh, I got to go pick up the kids from school. I've got this work to do. Block it out of your head. Live in the present moment. All right, we're going to just briefly talk about anxiety because we have a whole course on anxiety. We're going to go really deep into it. Anxiety can be a showstopper to a healthy mind, all right? It can be a showstopper. The problem is that a lot of the reason why a lot of us have so much anxiety is because of the way we eat, okay? So there's ways to reduce your stress. You got to get rid of the negativity. This is all going to sound pretty familiar about the whole having a healthy mind, right? Get rid of the negativity, have a positive attitude, meditation. Making time for yourself. Breathe, folks. Take a deep breath. I put these little dots around the house. So every time I see them, I know, all right, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. Breathing is something that most of us don't even know how to do. All right? Our bodies get so stressed out, we take this shallow breathing. If we're not getting enough oxygen to our blood cells, it causes all kinds of problems. It causes heart arrhythmias. It causes extra stress. It causes you to tighten your muscles, okay? Take deep breaths. That's what meditation's really all about, is taking the time to rest your mind and take deep breaths and get oxygen to your body. Sorry, folks. I'm not going to cut that out just because this is all about being real, right? So breathe, all right? Exercise. When you exercise, all right, you breathe. You breathe more. You breathe better. You breathe in more air. You have to breathe properly when you exercise or you're going to pass out, all right? Yoga is also great. Yoga is just moving meditation, folks, all right? You'll learn more in our class on anxiety and stress. Check out the book, Full Catastrophe Living, which we'll also recommend in the next course by John Kabat-Zinn. Great book, all about mindfulness. I took an MBSR class with this wonderful lady, Karen Suthers, when I first started my journey. So I highly recommend those types of courses. We are going to have our anxiety and our meditation course. So look forward to those and make sure you do those courses. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of chapter 2. Okay, folks, chapter 3, the part you've all been waiting for. How do I actually change my mindset? What do I do? Well, hey, I'm going to start off with this. The average CEO reads over 60 books a year. How many do you read? All right, I would say most CEOs have a pretty healthy mindset. They would have had to get to that success level. Now, that doesn't mean all of them, but most. And honestly, most people that are highly successful are in fairly good health. That doesn't hold true, obviously, for everyone. But how many books do you read? Are you reading? Are you educating yourself? We're going to talk a little bit more about that down the road here. But the keys to a positive, healthy mindset are commitment. All right, you got to be committed to what you want to achieve. You've got to be obsessed. You got to have obsession for what's important to you. Okay, if being healthy is important, you got to get obsessed about it. All right. Discipline. You have to have discipline. You have to have drive. You have to have extreme ownership. All right. You have to set goals, folks. We got to set goals. We're going to talk all about goals. And then you have to constantly be learning. Commitment. The definition of commitment's right here, folks. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity. All right. What's committing mean to you? Committing means that you're going to see something through no matter what the obstacles are that are thrown in your way. All right. Failure's not an option. Success is my duty. I'm committed. All right. I am committed to helping as many people as I possibly can get healthy, get their minds right, and increase their overall wealth and increase their overall quality of life. That's what I'm committed to. All right. I'm committed. Think of what you're committed to today. Think about it. Think about what you're committed to. All right, I want you to write it down. Write down what you're committed to. Think of what you want to be committed to. Maybe there's things that you're not committed to today that you want to be committed to. Maybe it's one of them is your health. Maybe you want to commit to your health and you just don't know how yet. That's what we're here to help you with, okay? If getting healthy and attaining your optimal life is not one of your commitments, how do you make it your commitment? What's it going to take, folks? All right? If you're sick, if you're obese, if you're overweight, if you're going in the wrong direction health-wise, this is your life at stake, folks. What else do you need to get committed? Okay? Get committed to it. Obsession, all right? In order to have the right mindset for success, in order to have the right mindset to have a healthy mind, we have to get obsessed about the things that are important to us, all right? An idea or thought that continually preoccupies or intrudes on a person's mind. This is why I say getting healthy has to be top of mind. It has to be a part of our day. It has to be a part of every bite we put in our mouth. It has to be a part of it has to be that thought that our mind's going back to. Okay? Get obsessed or be average. Great quote by Grant Cardone. Who wants to be average? Who wants to just settle for average, folks? I don't want to just settle for average. I want to be extraordinary. Okay? Average people settle. Average people are okay with being average. All right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Okay? We have to have the average people. We have to have the below average people. All right? But what I'm here for is to help you have a better lifestyle so you can be above average. All right? So you can be extraordinary. Get obsessed or be average. Your health and success need to be top of mind again, folks. They got to preoccupy your mind. Discipline, the definition, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take you out back and give you some lashings if you don't know. I'm just kidding. So you got to obey a code of behavior, folks. Listen, whatever that is, all right? That could be not eating things you shouldn't be eating. That could be, making sure you're eating organic. That could be a number of different things. You got to obey the rules. Obey the rules that we're giving you, okay? Obey the rules that you give yourself. That's discipline. Discipline is sticking to your rules, the rules that you give yourself every day, okay? Discipline for me starts from the minute my alarm clock goes off, if it even has to. I usually wake up before it now, okay? But every so often that alarm clock goes off before I'm ready to get out of bed. I get out of bed regardless. I don't hit the snooze button. There are mornings where I've gone through time. When I was honest, I was going through my back surgery and stuff. Yeah, I'd hit the snooze button sometimes, all right? It was tough, all right? But I was lacking in discipline at that time. Discipline is getting up when that alarm goes off, getting out of bed, writing my goals, meditating, going to the gym, getting my day started the way I want to, all right? Instead of just laying in bed, all right? That's discipline. That's where discipline comes in. You have to understand there are consequences for breaking your code of behavior and rules, okay? If I don't get up and go to the gym in the morning, what's my consequences? Well, you know what? Quite for me, I'm going to think about it all day. Man, I wish I had gone to the gym. I got time to get there later. It's going to be, I'm not going to feel as good. If I don't meditate in the morning, I feel completely off all day long. All right? So that's my punishment. That's how I'm being punished. And if I continue to do that, I'm going to build stress. I'm going to build anxiety. I'm going to start to lose some of my health and my fitness, and then that's the punishment. Okay? Right now, if you're not leading a healthy lifestyle, your punishment is pretty nasty, folks. It's whatever disease you have or whatever disease you're going to end up with, because you're going to end up with a disease if you're eating the standard American diet, if not one, multiples. Okay? It's early death. All right? Those are the consequences. All right? That's what the consequences are to not being disciplined about your health. Great quote here from Damon John. This is in the context of discipline when working out. When he was doing research for his book, Rise and Grind, what I found out was that almost all of the subjects worked out, and they worked out in the morning. When I switched gear to work out in the morning, like all the other subjects had, I found that I was way more productive. By working out in the morning, I came to work more energetic, and I was more productive. Damon John, the People Shark. Listen, folks, discipline is huge. It's key, all right? We got to be disciplined. We got to have our code of ethics, our code of behavior, and we have to stick to it. Discipline is sticking to it. Drive, to be driven. The definition of driven: a person that's relentless, compelled by the need to accomplish a goal, very hardworking, and ambitious. You got to be driven to accomplish your goals, all right? And we are going to talk about writing your goals. You got to be driven to succeed. Be driven, folks. Don't give up on yourself. Extreme ownership. All right, this is a pet peeve of mine. I hate when people blame other people for crap. I really do, all right? I have people blame me all the time for stuff. You know what? Usually I'm okay taking the blame because I believe and I practice extreme ownership, you know? So the thing is this is the deal. It's about taking responsibility in your business and your life as a leader. Ego must be set aside. You got to set the ego aside, and you have to, if you're a leader on a team, if you're a manager at work and your team fails, someone on your team fails, you're responsible. You take action. It's your responsibility. You either hired that person or you've been leading that person. They made a mistake. They either were missing, they didn't have the training they needed, or something was going on. It's your responsibility, right? Take responsibility for the situation you're in right now. If you're fighting Western disease, if you're overweight or obese right now, take responsibility. Own it. Own it yourself, okay? You're the reason why it is. Sure, the food industry has brainwashed you, okay? But there are resources. I'm sure there are times when you think back in your life that there's been lifelines. You've known something has been off, okay? You're here now. That's what's great. You're taking extreme ownership. If you're here now, you've started to take some extreme ownership. There's no doubt about it because you're starting to realize that, okay, this is on me. I've got to start doing this, all right? You got to take full responsibility for your failures and your success. This is the opposite of blaming others. I highly recommend reading the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Great book. They both, if you get the audio version, they both read it themselves. It's a good book to do on audio. Not all books are that way. I've gotten plenty of books on audio that I have to go buy the book then and read the book because there's too much stuff I want to highlight. But this was a good book to read on audio. They're both former Navy SEALs that talk about extreme ownership. Really awesome stuff. Goals. Hey guys, this is the big section here. This is all about writing our goals, right? The definition, the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result. These are your targets, folks. Your goals, all right? Goals are the key to success. We have to have goals. I'm not talking about dreams here, folks. Dreams are dreams. I dream of buying a winning lottery ticket for $300 million someday. I'd first have to go buy the lottery ticket, which I don't normally do very infrequently. Sometimes I'll pick one up. But that's a dream. There's nothing I can really do to accomplish that dream except for buy a lottery ticket and hope and pray. Goals are something that you write down that you can attain. Now, you need to write them down daily, all right? Don't set your goals to be too easy. So when we talk about attainment, you don't want to set your goal to be too easy, all right? Let's say my goal is that I want to lose 10 pounds. All right. Well, if I say, okay, my goal is to lose 10 pounds, it is February right now, which it actually is. It's the very end of February. So that means what 10 weeks from now, I want to write it down like 10 weeks from now, put the date down. I will lose 10 pounds. All right. Maybe you want to set a shorter term goal. Like, you know what? I want to lose 1 pound this week. By next Monday, I want to lose 1 pound. All right. Or it could be a financial goal. Maybe you made $100,000 last year, and this year you want to make you want to make more than that. Write a ridiculous goal on these though, okay? Something that's going to really make you think and go out there. Don't write a goal of, all right, I want to make 110,000. Is another 10,000 really going to make a significant change in your life? Probably not. Make it be 200,000. Okay? Make it be $1 million. All right? Figure out a way to do it. Okay? These are the ways that you should be writing your goals. Don't make them too easy. I'll tell you what. If I made $100,000 this year, next year I wrote a goal to make $1 million, and let's say I only got 50% there. Am I successful? Hell yeah, I am. I 5x'd my income in a year. All right? If I only get to 200,000, I'm still successful. All right? If I set a goal to get 110,000, I get to 105, well, that sucks. All right? So, set your goals so that they're just at reach or even seem a little out of reach, all right? You want to set 2 to 3 short-term goals. What do you want to achieve today, this week, this month? All right? I usually have one goal of what I want to achieve in that day, all right, or in the next couple days. I set 2 to 3 midterm goals. What are your goals for this year? Okay, so that's usually something related to the year. And then 1 to 2 long-term goals. What are we looking for the next 3 years to life? All right. Hey, here's my goals, folks. I don't even share these with my wife and my kids. All right. If they're watching this, they're going to see them now. All right. I write my goals every morning. My goals change. They're not always the same. I review my goals just before bedtime. Why is that? So first thing in the morning, I get up, I write my goals out. That makes me think about them all day long. All right, what am I doing to achieve my goals? All right, something new comes across my plate. How's this going to help me achieve my goals? All right. If it's not something that serves me and something that's not going to help me achieve my goals, then I might not do it. Okay. My goals are written down, and then I do it again at bedtime. I do it again at bedtime because at nighttime, we think and we plan a lot in our dreams and in our sleep. All right. So if I write them down, then my brain's thinking about it. I oftentimes will wake up in the morning. I did it this morning because I put this course together most of the day yesterday, and then I read my goals before I went to bed, and I woke up this morning and I added 4 new slides to this deck because things just popped in my head. Oh, I need to put this in. I need to put that in. Totally forgot about this. Right. So great ideas come from writing your goals and from reviewing your goals. My goals are written as though I have or will achieve them. These are not dreams, they're goals. So you don't want to write a goal like, I want to earn $1 million this year. You don't want to write that goal. You don't want to. Either do or don't. All right? That's another mindset thing. Don't try. Don't try anything. Either do it or don't do it. Get the try thing out of your mind. All right? Either do or don't. Sample my goals here. You can read through them. But anyway, the first one, hey, look, you know what? So when I hurt my back, I put on a few extra pounds. Honestly, it was much less about the lack of exercise I was able to do and more about as I wasn't exercising, I still was eating organic food, but I was slipping a little bit. You know what I mean? I'd make an exception here or there. I'd have a piece of pizza, maybe 2 or 3 pieces of pizza. And then, I might have some organic processed food that I normally wouldn't eat. So I put on a few extra pounds. As soon as I went back to my normal whole foods, cut out the processed foods, cut out the sugar, I dropped like 6 pounds like right away within like a couple weeks. Okay. Now it's been like a pound a week, and I've added a bunch of muscle mass back. So yeah, I'm maybe like 3 or 4 pounds away from what I consider ideal for me, being able to see my abs again, right? Not that they cut through like I'm not chiseled or anything, but it's I'm healthy, and that's when I started out. When I started out when I was 34, I didn't think I'd even look as good as I do now. Not to toot my own horn, but I just wanted to be healthy. To me, it was like if I got under 200 pounds, I'd be happy. Right. But it was like, whoa, I got to under 200 pounds and I kept going. I kept feeling better and better. I started working out harder and harder, and I just kept feeling better. The more I worked out, the cleaner I ate, the better I felt. And next thing you know, By the time I was 40 years old, I could see my abs. It was great. Okay. So, these goals that we set, I always have some sort of weight goal, even if it's the same weight that I am. Okay. Let's say it's Monday. All right. And I'm like, all right, I'm at 183 pounds or 185 pounds, and I'm happy with my weight. I look the way I want to look. My measurements are what I want them to be. My body fat's where I want it to be. I'll write down next Monday I want to weigh 100. If it was 185, next Monday I want to weigh 185 pounds. It's that simple. Okay? Eat to live, and nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. This is just a little thing I say to myself. Okay? I also write success is my duty a lot. It wasn't in there for yesterday's goals, but it's usually in there. I usually write right at the top, success is my duty. I only eat when I'm hungry. These are just reminders for myself. And I look at these, by the way, not just before, it's not like it's before, it's when I like lay down for the night in bed, because that's when I want to have a snack. And then I'll read that and I'll be like, ooh, am I hungry? Wait a minute, am I hungry? Do I need a snack, or do I just want a snack? And if I'm hungry, I'll go get a snack. But if I'm not, that makes me think about it. All right? I love my wife and kids, and they love me. I have 3. Notice how these are written. They're not written like I want to or I'm going to. It is I do. I do. All right? I have 3 happy, healthy, self-aware, successful children. This is how I want to raise my kids. All right? I want them to be happy, healthy, and self-aware. All right? All of these different, all right, I'm calm and cool with my family. Hey, you know what? I'm a pretty intense person, so I can be very intense. Even people sometimes get intimidated by me, even when I'm like, they'll be like, oh, why are you in a bad? I'm like, I'm in a great mood. I'm happy. I'm just intense sometimes. So just because someone's intense doesn't mean they're in a bad mood or they're angry. I'm passionate, right? I spend quality time daily with my kids. This is important to me, folks. I write this down every day. That way I know when I spend, even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes with each kid individually, or if it's with them as a group, that I'm focused on them during that time. I'm not thinking about what else I have to do, okay? I complete my real estate license this Thursday. By the way, I'm taking my real estate license tomorrow. I told you I'm a real estate investor, so I've been studying for my real estate license since May, off and on of last year. But I'm actually taking it this Thursday. I complete the Healthy Mind course this week. Oh, hey, that's what I'm doing right now, folks. I'm working on it right now, and I'm ahead of schedule. So here's some of my business goals, right? So Optimal Lives hits 1,000. You can read through these, but these are my goals, right? These are big goals, folks, right? These are huge goals. You know how many customers I have right now? I have 0. While I'm recording this, I have no customers, all right? But I want to have 1,000 by June 1st, all right? I've got a marketing plan. I've got a team that I'm assembling, and I think I can do it. You know what? If I only have 500 by June 1st, have I failed? No. I've helped 500 people, all right? That's what it's all about, all right? I purchased a 20-unit apartment building this year. That's my real estate goal for this year. All right, I have 17 doors now. I want to add another 20 this year, okay? So these are my goals. Write your goals, but you use mine as an example. Your goals have to be measurable, folks. You have to be able to measure your goal on a daily basis in your mind. You don't have to write it down. But on the health side, we are going to write down some of your goals. So I'm going to talk specifically about your health goals, all right? I want you to keep a log each day. Make at least one entry on how you feel. I recommend doing it in the morning and at night. How do you feel when you wake up? And you can just write that with your goals. You can just write it down by the bottom of your goals. I used an app called Evernote, right? It's a pay-for app, but it keeps my notes on my phone, syncs them between my phone and my computer. I can get them online anywhere. It's better than the Apple Note or Microsoft OneNote as far as syncing and sharing. You can share out notes with people and whatnot. It's a really cool tool. I don't get anything by telling you, that it's a great tool. Maybe I should contact them and see if they can send some money my way for referring people over, but I don't get anything for it, folks. I really like using the tool. It's a great tool. I write my goals in there. I make all my notes for anything I do in there. Take measurements. All right. There's a measurement log that is at the end of this course. All right. I want you to measure yourself weekly. Pick a day. I recommend either Sunday or Monday, just so you're starting the week, right? First thing in the morning before you eat. All right. You're going to measure your arms, your waist, your chest, your legs. You're going to measure. Okay. Now, this could be one or two things. I mean, for most people, if you're overweight or obese, you're gonna want to see these measurements getting smaller. Okay, for someone like me, who's already in good shape, well, I might want to see an inch off of my waist yet, right? I want to see my arms and legs getting bigger because I'm lifting weights and I might want to add and I'm trying to add, some muscle. All right, so it's just, depends on what your goal is, where you're at, right? And then log your food intake daily. Get familiar with how certain foods affect the way you feel. All right, so this is not something that's going to be part of your lifestyle going forward. I do not log my food daily anymore, but I did. I did it for a couple years, and it was all about mindset. It's about keeping it top of mind. Helped me understand the way my body reacts with certain foods. Okay, so I recommend an app called MyFitnessPal. It's free from Under Armour. They do have a paid version too, gives you some extra stuff. You don't need it. It's cool because you can actually create meals. You can, all the most common stuff out there. You can scan barcodes. It'll give you your calories, your sodium. I'm less concerned with the calories. I'm more concerned with those other nutrients, the sodium, the fat, some of that other stuff. But what's cool about it is you put in your body profile, and it helps you to really understand how many calories you're eating, and then you can compare that to your weight. I recommend weighing yourself every day. Okay, I know this sounds different than what you've heard in diet programs. Oh, just weigh yourself once a week, whatever. No, that's right, daily, because it's all about mindset. I want you to think about the measurable goals every single day. Get up in the morning, after you've gone to the bathroom, get on the scale. Record it. I recommend, a electronic scale that does recording. There's all kinds of smart scales. Now, I use Withings, but I've had it for quite a while. There's also a Fitbit one. I don't know. There's a bunch of them out there. I will, I'll put it in the notes. I'll try to look them up too, and just give you guys a list of what's out there. I'll go and put that at the end of the course notes for you. But I use the Withings one. I've had it for about 4 years. It's still going strong. Still works fine. It does lose its head every so often. It needs reprogrammed about once a year. But other than that, it works great. So important. This is all about mindset. Constantly learning. We have to constantly learn, folks. This is one of the biggest parts, okay? I don't want to diminish any one part. Goals are super important. Constantly learning. The reason why constantly learning is so important is because it's all about keeping your mindset or getting your mindset, right? Listen, I wanted to get healthy, right? What did I do? I started reading. I read one book. Whoa. I'm going to read another book. I had a friend brought me a couple books. She said, "Hey, I hear you're trying to get healthy. I see you've gone vegan. Hey, I want you to read these books." So the book she brought me was The Maker's Diet, and I can't remember the other one. The Maker's Diet was a really good one, by the way. I recommend that book. It'll be in the recommended reading lists on the overall resources for the course down in the tools. And then I just kept reading books, and then I discovered documentaries, and then I discovered podcasts, and then I discovered audiobooks. And I was like, whoa. I spent a lot of time on airplanes and in the car traveling to and fro customers in my day job. So I knock out like 2 audiobooks a month at least, plus at least 1 or 2 print books, and I'm listening to podcasts constantly. Now, 4 years ago, I decided, hey, you know what? I need to get back in this real estate game and start investing in real estate again. So I started listening to real estate podcasts. I started listening to real estate books, and I was doing all of that, and I started ignoring all the health books. And you know what happened? I started making more and more exceptions in my daily diet, my lifestyle from a health perspective, because it wasn't top of mind anymore. I'd gotten to my goal, all right? And I realized what was happening. So I found a balance, right? A balance between the two. I was still listening to more real estate stuff because that's what was really interesting me at the time, okay? Seminars are great, documentaries are great, and mentors are awesome. Hey, listen, folks, this is what's crazy. We encourage our children to learn and to learn new things every single day. Why is it once we're adults, a large majority of us are done learning? We reject it. It's like, I don't want to do school. I see it all the time at my work. There's some training we have to do. Why are they making me do this training? Like, hey, your work's trying to better you, man. They're trying to do the training. Stop whining. We no longer want to change or improve ourselves. Be like a child. Earn for knowledge. Live for knowledge. Okay? I can't stress how important it is, folks. Subject matter you might want to, get excited about and learn about is obviously health and wellness. That's why you're here. But on the success side and on the wealth side, positive thinking, success, entrepreneurship, finance, real estate investing, if that interests you. Lots of good recommendations I can make on that as well if you reach out to me on the community forum. Take action now. All right, here we are. We're coming to the end of this course. I hope you all hung in there with me. Here's a list of what you already should be doing. You should have made that one friend, right? That one healthy lifestyle friend. You should be practicing traffic light eating. You should have started to eliminate toxic foods and toxins. You should start moving, and you should be eating organic foods too. New actions. I want you to start writing your goals down daily in the morning and review them before bed. All right? Do it every single day. Start to measure your health. Log how you feel. Get on the scale. Log your measurements every week. Start tracking it. Top of mind for a new mindset. So we need to have this new mindset top of mind along with our health, right? Because this is all part of it. Knowledge is power, folks. Start to listen to podcasts, audiobooks on healthy lifestyle and success. Start to watch documentaries on the food industry and health and healthy lifestyle. Read books on healthy lifestyle and success. All right? Thanks a lot for sticking through the course. In the more resources section, you're going to find my recommendations on books, podcasts, speakers, and mentors, as well as documentaries. In the tools section, you will find some tools as well in that resources section. You'll find a link to MyFitnessPal for tracking your food log, measurement tracking sheet, and then some smart scale options for you if you want to go down that route. You don't need to have a smart scale though. You can just use a regular old scale and write down your weight every week. So and actually the weight is in the measurement tracking sheet for a weekly basis, but you might want to track that daily by paper if you're not doing a smart scale. And then we will see you in the next course. Have a great one.